My journey started with cigarettes. I had an uncle who smoked, who lived with us and smoked, and I really looked up to him. And so my brother and I actually stole a pack of his cigarettes, and we went and we tried it, and my brother hated it and I loved it. And the first puff I took, I didn't cough, and I thought, oh my God, it's meant to be. Having that easy access to the cigarettes through my uncle opened the door. And this is a problem with a Muslim society. Like, so many Muslims smoke.
A friend would pick me up at 6:30 in the morning. We'd drive to school, and on the way there, we'd be smoking blunts. And we get to school like totally high, and we go to school. We'd be high throughout the day. At lunchtime, we go out, and this is like junior year. We'd leave. We'd drive to the local like pizza place, and we smoke weed all the way there. We eat pizza. We'd smoke weed all the way back to school. We'd sit in the parking lot of school and smoke weed there. Like on the snow days when it was snowing out and everyone's car was covered in snow, we just go sit down in a car and we wouldn't leave. We just sit there with all the windows closed, and we wouldn't turn on the wiper, and there'd be snow everywhere. We'd just be smoking weed for like 30-40 minutes while like our lunch period was going on, and then we'd go to class. And then after school, we'd do the same thing, and I'd get home at 4 o'clock, and I wouldn't go out that day. And it's to think that your child's okay, that you didn't go out that day, that you didn't go out late, that you didn't come out home at weird hours of the night and stuff. And that's a sign to say that, oh, my kid's okay. It's absolutely not. That's not the case at all. They could be doing it any time. And if they really have a problem, they will be doing it at any time, because it's not a problem that only occurs at night. If you're an addict, you are doing it throughout the day.
After I quit marijuana when I was like 16, pretty much I just became like a weekend partier. Like, you know, I just go to high school parties on the weekends and just drink alcohol and started smoking cigarettes every day. That was probably like freshman year, 15, 16. I was smoking probably, you know, every day at least. You know, I bought a pack of cigarettes then. And then I didn't touch any drugs other than alcohol and tobacco. And that continued on till third, fourth year. Then I tried ecstasy. Like everyone when I was 18, they were doing ecstasy, but I just never felt the point. I was like, you know, drinking is good enough for me. I don't need ecstasy. Ecstasy is, it's MDMA. It's considered like a love drug. It's like a dancing drug. Kids, you know, it's a high designer drug. It's a club drug. So I was already into the club scene pretty heavily. So I was going on the parties, you know, and the weekend started on Thursday. So you go to a club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, you know, you drink heavily. And then everyone was doing ecstasy and stuff like that. I didn't really get into ecstasy until, you know, like my third, fourth year of school. And then I started doing ecstasy, and with ecstasy, you know, I tried ecstasy. I was like, okay, you know, it's pretty cool, you know. So I was like, all right, well, then, you know, you're like, okay, cocaine becomes pretty easy. You know, cocaine comes around. You're like, well, I did ecstasy, and ecstasy is cocaine, and I might as well try, you know, the powder. So you ended up doing the powder, and eventually, you know, it ended up leading to heroin.
I think the sneak out at night was probably the most elaborate. And I did get busted before. I had police pick me up and take me to the police station, and then my parents get a call from the police station. The cops are like, yeah, we have your son here at the police station. They're like, no, our son, he's in bed sleeping. And they're like, no, he's here in the police station. And then they go into my room, and they find that my bed has a bunch of dirty laundry underneath it, and there's a ladder out the window, and they're like, oh, okay, he's not at home.
First time I did any of this stuff, the first puff of the cigarettes or the weed or the alcohol, it was all out of curiosity. You know, what is this about? Let me check it out. And it was out of curiosity, and it was also out of wanting to be like certain people. You know, people that I wanted to be friends with.
Entertainment, the media, is a huge aspect of exposing people to different social circles and different actions. I think for me, I used to always love hip-hop, and not to discredit hip-hop music as a whole, I just chose certain artists that smoke weed, and they would talk about smoking weed in their songs. And whether that happened before I started smoking or after, nonetheless, they definitely promoted it. So it's like, you know, the type of music you listen to, the type of movies you watch, the type of websites you go to, all of this is going to affect you. And all of this should be watched very closely by parents.
My parents were in denial for a large part, because, you know, they thought, no, my son can't do this. My son can't do that. They just felt like, you know, they never told me not to do drugs. They never had a talk with me. But, you know, they just assumed I would. You know, they just had blind trust.
It's hard for me now, you know, 32, I still have a hard time forgiving my parents for not trying harder. You know, and again, it's my knowledge of the Deen that helps me to forgive them and have mercy on them and even, you know, blame myself more. But it's better to let them hate you when they're young and be protected than, you know, let them loose thinking they're gonna be okay, because they're not gonna be okay.